Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to Tereak Talks. Welcome back to another Premier League preview show where your host, Tereak Talks, and that is me, Tereak, is here talking to you whilst we are here live. And big up to each and every one of you, each and every time. I do appreciate you being in here. I do appreciate the love that you guys continue to show. It's been a busy week, hasn't it, guys? It really has been a busy week. And what we've done, I'm trying to sort out my solo because I've got a big screen of myself right here. I try to sort out, but it looks like I can't. So you're going to have the big head, an even bigger head up on the screen here this evening. But thank you for joining us for the Premier League preview show. This is a special one that we'll be looking at the FA Cup weekend fixtures here too. And you guys will be predicting for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Those of you who were willing to join us in our prediction league and looking at the 4 Premier League games we got. So we've got 8 fixtures all together. The mighty Arsenal, where the cap that I'm wearing right now, we did progress through into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but we are not playing this weekend, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know that, but we do have massive fixtures ahead in the FA Cup, the oldest cup competition in the world, and with a cup that I love and it's dear to my heart, as Arsenal have won it the most, 14 times. We're not in it this year. We got knocked out by Liverpool, who will be travelling to Old Trafford to take on Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United, where there's a lot of pressure under the Dutchman at the moment, but he will be hoping to grab a win, and so will those United fans in that Northwest derby. The rivalry between Man United and Liverpool, let's be real, it's the biggest in England. It's got the most hatred in there, the 2 biggest clubs in England, and yeah, that may pain to say. I should really be saying that through gritted teeth, but it's just a fact. It is what it is. But big up to everyone here in the building. Love to see you all in here, and let me big up to you all in the chat right now individually, because we've got Shay here in the building saying big up T, remember to hit the like button and subscribe. So he's bigging up me and then he's telling you to do that. So bless up to yourself, Shay. I appreciate you. And yes, I am running late. I do apologize. Big up Paxton here in the building. And OG in the TTF says watching T waffle on while drinking San Miguel and waiting on food. Friday evenings are finally entertaining. Hey, Pax, you know you have to tell us what you're having. You told us what you're having to drink. What are you having to eat? That's the most important thing. But I appreciate you coming in here, and I hope you do enjoy the Premier League preview show, because we're not just talking about Premier League games. We've got the FA Cup ones, but we're going to have to talk about the Arsenal too, and in the Champions League draw, a little bit about the Europa League draw too as well, and what else? Conference League, Villa fans, if we do have any Villa fans about the Conference League, Ben White, England, and everything surrounding that there too. So we've got plenty of topics, and I might do that towards the end of the show so we can get what we need to do out of the way, and then yeah, I'll list through all those topics towards the end. I'll share my screen. I'll try and get things up there for you guys too. So yeah, let's get into it first. But big up to yourself again, Shay. Nippin's in here. Big up to yourself, Nippin, as Chelsea are playing this weekend. Nice seeing you in here, my brother. Rivals in football teams, but you're a big guy. You're a legend, man. Big up to yourself. Mr. 200 here in the building. Listen to him there. He says, good evening Tereak. And good evening all. Good evening to yourself, Mr. 200. We've got Yannick in here as well. I hope you did have a happy birthday, Yannick, the other day. Mate, guys, if you haven't done so already, wish Yannick a happy belated birthday. But big up to yourself. Hope you had a fantastic day with yourself there too. King in here as well says big up T-Money. Big up to yourself, King. And Yannick is eating a Twix and drinking a Sprite. Hey, that's not a bad. It's not a bad combination. Remember, I know you like Twixes. My favorite Twix is a white chocolate Twix. That one's top. Hey, Shay's got a Stella in his hand. Nice to hear that there. Happy birthday, Yannick. Love to see that. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate you. Scotch and soda with spicy cheese Pringles. I know you like the spicy ones. Mr. 200. In fact, probably what, 3 years ago now? This is how we kind of got to know each other from another community, another Arsenal community. Big up Harry. And yeah, he sent that in there, and then that's where we kind of shared our love for food and Pringles. So big up to yourself, Mr. 200. And yeah, shall we get into it? Shall we do indeed? I think I've got everything on here, the fixtures and the banners. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I was running a little bit late. I was doing another stream. I was on Endsman TV. Absolute big up to himself and him and Savage over there doing great work. They've got another channel coming out as well, Endsman TV 1. Go check it out. Liverpool fans, so I know Man United fans, you can be like, they're calm. They're all right. They're good people. Little, you're gonna get the good debate on there too. There was a big debate that we was talking about, and I was listening and I was getting involved. But it was nice. It was nice, man. And that's what we love football for: the debates, the opinions. I love it. That's what I love it for, guys. I do indeed. Even when you guys tell me I'm wrong, I do love it because you guys are all knowledgeable and you make it very interesting. But let's get into it here, my peeps. Let us get into it indeed. So yes, we do have Man United versus Liverpool, and this is the prediction stream. So if you want to enter the predictions league to be within a chance of winning multiple giveaways at the end of the season, and if you want to get involved in the predictor of the month, make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section at the end of the stream. And guys, so you can put them into the live chat. I will still continue to read them and continue to read your thoughts on each fixture or whatever you want to speak about. We can definitely do that. But guys, if you want to enter the predictions league and be predictor of the month, then enter that in the comment section. Even if you're brand new, we have a predictor of the month that we give a nice smaller prize at the end of each month. I don't know, it might be small. It's not very small to the bank account, but it is, man. I do appreciate you guys, that it's a little way that I can give back to you. 3 points for a correct score, and 1 point for a correct result. So for Liverpool, Manchester United, or Man United, Liverpool, I should say, if you predict a 2-1 Man United win, and Man United win by 2-1, you will get 3 points. If you predict a 2-1 Man United win and they win 1-0, 3-1, 3-2, anything like that, you will only get 1 point. However, if you do predict a Man United win and Liverpool win, you'll get 0 points. Let me add to this as well, guys, with the Premier League. So because we're doing an FA Cup one, of course, you know that these games can go to extra time and penalties. We will have a win, draw, and a loss. But if the teams are drawing and it goes to penalties, so we draw in 90 minutes, draw in extra time, and it goes to penalties, that will count as a draw. So once the 120 plus minutes have been played and the referee blows his whistle, at the end of that, we will count. So if they draw in 90, but there's a winner in extra time, we will count it as the win in extra time. So if you predict a Man United 3-2 win and it draws 2-2, and in the 90, and then they score a late winner in extra time, you will get the 3-2 win and you'll get 3 points for a correct score. So once extra time is done, that is the result that we'll have. So that it'll be a draw or a win for the FA Cup teams. Hopefully that makes that clear. If you guys do have any questions, let us know in the chat. Big up to John in here as well. I've seen you just come in here, my brother. Nice to see you in here. John says, hi, I have a question. I have 8 players playing this week. Son, Watkins, Bowen, Doughty, Douglas, Luiz, Vicario, and Porro. I saw Haaland would drop in price, so I picked up Tony for him this week. Should I free hit? Do you know what, John? My advice is, I don't think you should free hit. I don't think you should. The reason I don't think you should, because you've got 8 players, and the free hit that you'll be able to use later in the season. The reason I say later in the season, you will have Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, all having double game weeks coming up, John. They will all have a double game week because they're not playing this weekend and they're going to have to make up the Premier League fixtures elsewhere. You're going to have stronger teams playing, stronger players, stronger teams playing in a double game week. I think Arsenal as well. Arsenal, of course, are going to have a double game week too. I think that will be when we have Wolves and then Chelsea in that midweek there. So make sure, John, you hold on to it. If that's my advice, that's what I'd do. You already have, yeah, exactly. As you've just said there, I feel like I have most of the players already. Would you recommend if I free hit? I wouldn't recommend a free hit. I recommend you hold on to it, and it will pay you dividends later. Then when you free hit, you can have 2 or 3 Man City players, whoever you want, of course, within budget, and then you can have 2 or 3 Arsenal players, and then vice versa. So you can really make it as strong as you want based on the fixtures. And you can have better players to pick from, and they were more likely to get you more points than the likes of a I know you've already got Doughty, but if he was picking from a Fulham player or anyone, or a Tottenham, even another Tottenham player. So yeah, no worries at all, John. Big up to yourself, CM, in here in the building. Paxton says Shay needs a prize for being a super mod separately. Absolutely, we will all get prizes. And do you know what, Pax? That reminds me. I got 2 things that I want to say. I want to do an end of the season award show. For like an awards for the community, for everyone in here, for everyone who's been involved in the channel. I want to do an end of the season award show, and I think that's a great idea. But I can't give him that now. He obviously knows, can he? Wouldn't he? But yeah, I want to give a big shout out to the community, the supporters that you guys have been to the channel and been, I've built a lot of relationships with you guys outside of just talking on YouTube and even on other social media platforms. So guys, I really want to appreciate you for that and sticking through, because I've not been the most consistent on the channel of late, have I? Let's be real. I've not been as consistent as I wanted to be, but you guys have stuck through. I like to think I picked up my performance this week, and I'm here dedicated bringing you another Premier League preview show after bringing match reaction and a watch along. So guys, I want to hit those levels again, and I want to be essentially streaming like 5 days minimum out of the 7 in a week. So yeah, just slowly picking my sides back up, and I just want to appreciate you for sticking around. And we're gonna get the channel going, bumping, and yeah, hopefully we get more like-minded people within the community, because I do feel that the community that you have is a reflection upon yourself and what you've created. If you have too many crackheads in your community, that means you're moving like one. But I'm very proud of the community that I've got right here. Small, tight knitted, but you guys are amazing. And look at the love that you show to me, the love that you show to others, like respectable people, man. And yeah, and great people within society. And we need to get more people like that together to show that we're here. And then yeah, we can build and have a strong connection in the future. And whatever we do in our lives, even if we have periods away, don't worry, you come back. It's like a home. You know what I mean? Like home, like the prodigal son in the Bible. I'm sure we know about that story, about that parable. So yeah, this place will always be home where you can come relax, talk football and whatever. Listen to Shay, listen to you guys. You got banter, you do. Less waffle, and Paxton's agreeing. So guys, sorry for getting a bit emotional and light skin here. Is that actually true? Is that actually true? Oh my days. This is something we're going to have to talk about then. But yeah, let's get into it. And we'll start off with the Manchester United Liverpool fixture. Guys, this is huge, of course, in the FA Cup. I feel like it's bigger for Manchester United than it is for Liverpool. Just given the fact that Liverpool have got the Premier League, the Europa League, and they've already got a Carabao Cup to their name. But and bigger for them, whereas Manchester United are on the outskirts of a European race, and with Erik Ten Hag's future in doubt, it's not confirmed that he'll be leaving or anything like that. But there is a lot of speculation surrounding his future, a lot of animosity from Man United fans who don't believe he's the right man. But there's a big group that also believe he's the right man, and the one that they want this new ownership to give the keys to, and give him a better structure, give him a better chance of succeeding, because he's a good coach, and we have seen him do well in his time at Chelsea. We have seen him do well in his time there as well. Oh my word. What I'm trying to find out what's happening on Twitter. I've got loads of notifications here. It's just a bit mad. It is just a bit mad indeed. But yeah, I'm trying to find out is it actually true about this Greenwood thing? Because this, if we are talking about it, it can't be true. Surely not. Yannick's pulling my leg, isn't he? Okay. No. Sorry, but yeah, it is just big for Erik Ten Hag of that. No, it's not. Slow sports news. Yannick, you got done by slow sports news. That's what you did. I know another person who's done that this week. But yeah, Man United versus Liverpool is huge, and it's a rivalry. It's going to be big for the fans. Liverpool are chasing the quadruple though, and their fans are going to be up for it. It's going to have a big allocation of away, because that's what we have in the cup competition. That's the nice part about it. You get a big portion of your away fans. You get a bigger allocation than you would for a Premier League game or anything like that. And Man United already do have a big allocation of away fans. That's why when teams travel to go to Old Trafford and go to play at Man United Stadium, you hear them and they're very loud. They're very the atmosphere is great, and that's another reason when the place is booming, when Man United are playing well, and the away team is there too, you get a real good game where you can hear both sets of fans. But you're going to be hearing the Liverpool fans, and they're going to be loud, they're going to be proud, and they're going to be ripping into Man United, and that's why the fans there are going to be hoping and praying that they're putting a performance similar to what we've seen, like how they've done at Old Trafford last season when they played Liverpool. The resilience that they showed in the Premier League, travelling away to Anfield. The only team to stop Liverpool from scoring this season is Man United so far. So yeah, it's going to be huge for them to try and grab this win. And with Erik Ten Hag, he's kind of built his foundations upon cup competitions in the past. He's got a lot of faith and a lot of belief from the United fans because of his Carabao Cup win, and then even taking them all the way to the final of the FA Cup last season, which didn't end good for United, with allowing City to go on and pick the second trophy out of the treble at the time. But that's where he kind of got the belief of a lot of Man United fans that maybe he is a good coach, and maybe he understands what he's doing. He's got the best out of a bad bunch, but he's certainly not done that this season. So it's definitely going to be a test. In terms of team news, however, there are some positives that we've been hearing about, and hopefully that there's more to come from United fans in regards to that, because I want to see two strong teams, and I want to see the both of them really going at it. This game is a half-free kickoff on Saturday, but Erik Ten Hag believes that Rasmus Højlund will be fit enough to feature against Liverpool. Whether that means he starts or not, I probably think it will. He won't be starting, and he might be featuring on the bench to begin with, just so that he can make sure he's going to be there for the running by the end of the season. But we will see him, I believe, and Erik Ten Hag believes, at some point in the game. Defenders Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are also likely to return. So that's going to be a huge boost for Man United, who are struggling in that left-back position, where they are having to play Victor Lindelof out of position on his offside and his weaker side of the pitch as well, on the left side. They're also going to have some defensive reinforcements in the centre, with Harry Maguire returning. And we saw the controversy of Lisandro Martinez being picked for Argentina there too. So that was quite interesting to see, but obviously he's not recovered and he's not going to be fit, so I'm not quite sure why they did that. So yeah, they could have 3 returnees coming into the team, and that'll be a huge plus for Man United. In terms of Liverpool, that Liverpool manager Klopp said Mohamed Salah will be available for the fixture after he played last night, and he had 60 minutes under his belt. They've had some other players that have returned as well, but however, like Szoboszlai, who played the full 90, I believe, but he added that Ibrahim Konate is a doubt, while Curtis Jones, Diogo Jota, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who have all not played since February, will not return after the international break. So missing 3 players for sure, but Ibrahim Konate is a doubt. He will be a big plus for them. But yeah, Gerald Konsa has been excellent for them anyway, and so like many other young players. In terms of my prediction for this game, however, United fans, turn away. I do think Liverpool will win this by 3-1. I've gone for a 3-1 win, and it might look quite bad to begin with, but I don't know. I think majority of it will be a tight game. However, Liverpool will not get in front, and I think what will happen is when Man United are trying to chase that equaliser to try and take it to extra time, I just think that Liverpool, with the threats that they have on the counter-attack, Mohamed Salah back there in form, with Luis Diaz, who looked brilliant last week against Manchester City, they're going to be right in there and feeling confident that they can get something on the counter. And I just think it will be 3-1 Liverpool in that sense. Just quickly as well, before I go into your predictions with Liverpool, that they are going to be playing Atalanta in the Europa League. That's a favourable draw for them, and they're also on the favourable side, where they're going to either be playing, if they progress of course, they're either going to be playing Benfica or Olympic de Marseille. Benfica got a lot of players that are quite talented. João Neves, who's been linked with Manchester United heavily. Antonio Silva, another player that's been linked with Manchester United heavily. But they've got those two there who have been destined for big moves. And we've seen Darwin Núñez come from Benfica. We've seen other great talents too. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Enzo Fernandez as well. How can I forget? So yeah, one of the most expensive players in the world. But yeah, I've gone for a Liverpool win by 3-1. Guys, don't forget, FA Cup weekend. You can get your predictions in the comment section at the end. But let's see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat in regards to this. Listen to Brush as well. Smack that like button, people. And just like how I smack my head off against my boom arm. Big up to yourselves. Paxton says 9-0 Man United win, but we'll probably lose. He's just got to use his heart there. He can never go for a Liverpool win over United. I hear you. Man United 4-0 says Shay. Brush said, told you, T. Kane is coming to town and he's coming to get locked up in Gabriel's prison. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, bring up to yourself, Brush. Thanks for reminding me. Let me star that, in fact, so when so I don't forget. I believe in my ball manager, says Pax. Rasmus, Yannick says 2-1 Man United. Rasmus Højlund with the winner. I think he's predicting slow sports news, catching people out left, right, and centre. I know, I keep seeing that. I have seen none of that sort. I is pranking you, says Yannick. I hear you. You did get me indeed. I was searching for it. I was like, whoa, that would be a huge topic. Because I also saw my phone blowing up. And I thought, hang on, maybe it is true. Manchester United 2-1, says Mr. 200. Hey, Mr. 200, would you prefer Liverpool going deeper into the competition? Yeah, facing Man City or someone of the likes. Yeah, Man City really in the semi-finals, so that they can have another big game, Man City, but so that Liverpool will also have one too that can kind of take their eye off the title. But yeah, and you've gone for a Manchester United win there. I just want to see your reaction. Fair play. Look at Ajax without Baldy getting destroyed by Diaby. Did he score? Did Diaby score? Crap. Sunday, yeah, game's on Sunday. Apologies, I said Saturday. Big up to yourself, guys. What is this? Let's waffle. Oh my days. Big up to yourself, Ozzy in the building, says big up to 3-0 to Liverpool. Let's waffle. You guys love it really, don't you? Big up to Bongo. Love seeing you here, my man. Says morning, big man. 6 players and not using a free hit. You might make up some of those 180 points this game week. Hey, Bongo. I'm not going to use my free hit either. I'm saving it. I've just advised John Jansen to also not use his free hit. So I've advised John, and you're not either. I'm not making up those points. I don't have many. I haven't checked my FPL team, but I'd rather take a 4-point hit to get 2 players in if it means I get 8 rather than using my free hit. So I'm not making up those points most likely. I do have some though, however, but I think you might do as well. Big up to yourself, Bungle. Hope you have a fantastic day as well ahead. And yeah, this is not a bad way to start the day, is it? Listening to me waffle about football. And yeah, we'll talk about Arsenal too at the end of the show. Let's move on now into the next game, the next FA Cup fixture. And this is, in fact, a 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. I am correct in saying this one is on Saturday. Hopefully, I've got that one correct now, guys. But Manchester City take on Newcastle United, the Abu Dhabi owners versus the Saudi ownership. It is a two Middle Eastern owned clubs facing off with each other, but Manchester City very successful, the holders of this cup competition in the FA Cup, against Newcastle, who are looking for their first trophy in over 60 years. But it's going to be, the tests don't really get much tougher than this one for the Geordies, for the Magpies. Actually, that's their actual club nickname. But then travelling to the Etihad in this game here, and Newcastle aren't in a good run of form, but they hope that they're it's a cup fixture or one-off. Man City have bigger fish to fry, so they're hoping that will happen. But you know how Pep Guardiola sets these teams up. They will be without in a key player in Kevin De Bruyne, who is not also featuring during the international break for Belgium, which is another one of those little tactics, the things that Pep Guardiola's sides tend to do. Remember Haaland last season, missing the final international break because of an ankle injury, which I think he missed one game. That was against Liverpool, to be fair, at the Etihad, but they won that convincingly without him by 4-1. And then he suddenly returned and didn't get injured again all season. But yeah, Kevin De Bruyne has got a groin injury, so he's not going to be featuring in this one here, and he won't be featuring for Belgium in their friendlies. What other team news do we have? City will be without Ederson too, of course, who picked up a leg injury from the foul that he committed to Darwin Núñez in their 1-1 draw last weekend. However, good news for City is midfielder Jack Grealish has returned to training and could make an appearance. Jack Grealish has had a bit of an injury-ridden season. Muscular injuries he's been picking up. And yeah, he came back against Luton in the FA Cup, but then got injured again and missed the next few games. But he could return to training, which would be a big plus for Pep Guardiola's side, as they have a massive end of the season running. And I think he will be the first choice left winger if he's fit and available. I think he'll play against Arsenal, and he might even start against Arsenal. We know with Jack Grealish, he's not excellent in terms of goal scoring. He's not that much of a threat, but he's important to how Manchester City want to play and how they want to dominate in the opposition's half. His ball retention is outstanding. He can chip in with a goal and an assist, but what he provides in terms of off the ball too, defensively, he's really improved on that in his time since he moved up to Manchester. But yeah, in possession, keeps the ball, keeps it moving, plays it simple, slows down the attacks, and then picks the speed back up, and then gets it to the better players like a Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and whatnot. But Anthony Gordon for the Magpies, who was feared to have a serious knee injury after what he picked up in that 3-2 defeat against Chelsea, was forced off early. However, he was called up for England this week, and he could feature. He's a doubt for this game, but he'll be trying his best to get fit for England so he can make his England debut and receive his cap for England. So yeah, he'll be desperate to do that and trying to convince Gareth Southgate to take him to the Euros. But we'll talk about Gareth Southgate. And it's quite sad really how I'll speak about Gareth Southgate, because he's someone I've really defended a lot during his time as an England manager, and someone I've taken a lot of banter and jokes for in terms of how much I've defended him. But yeah, I'm really gonna have to go into him a bit later. However, in terms of my prediction for this game, Manchester City for me, 2-0 win, quite comfortable. I don't think they're gonna smash Newcastle in terms of goals, although Newcastle have one of the worst defence in the league in terms of goals that they've let in and chances they're letting in against them. However, Manchester City are going to rotate their side a little bit, I do believe. And then even in the game, if they feel like the game's won, they'll start making substitutions and giving debuts, I think, or like minutes to players that haven't had many throughout the season. Like, your Sergio Gomez's, your Mateus Nunes, and maybe you might even see a young player make their debut for Man City. I'm not even sure that they then have many that they haven't made a debut for them, because I know they played a few of them in some of the Champions League games. But yeah, give them more minutes and in terms of their development. And mainly in terms of development, what Man City do is sell a lot of players, sell a lot of their youth players for profit, and they're very good at that. But let's see what we're saying here in the chat, guys. Big up to yourself, Mark, in the place. He says Tereak, United will win. Big up to yourself, Pax, who says Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. They will save energy. Kind of agree with you on that. They're not going to go all out for the hammering in this game. However, they could do, because there is an international break, and the players that will be because a lot of them are friendlies anyway. Yeah, the minutes will be shared, and it'll be a lot easier for them and just keep them ticking. Manchester City drawing, yeah, we'll speak about that too. We'll definitely will. And we'll start that one too, Yannick, just so in case I don't forget. 2-0 Newcastle, says Shay. He thinks it's going to be a upset there at the Etihad. King says oil money derby. Grealish back is a major boost for City. They miss it. Ball retention and add to balance in the defence and midfield, absolutely, because they've been transitioned upon a lot. Me and you spoke about that earlier this week, King, in terms of Man City defensively, how they look so much more open, because also their forwards turning over the ball, like Doku turning over the ball a lot and allowing the opposition to spring counter-attacks upon them, and then Doku not necessarily being as good as Grealish defensively too. Yannick says 3-0 Man City. Doku and Phil Foden have them both in my FPL. However, they won't be playing in the FPL this weekend, Yannick, because they're in the FA Cup, so it doesn't count for that. Big up Mark, says Shay. Let's waffle. You know how we do it again. So yes, guys, don't forget, if you want to get your predictions in for the Predictions League, submit them in the comments at the end of the stream. Let's go now into the next game, which is Chelsea taking on Leicester City here in the FA Cup. And Leicester, I believe, is Paxson's local team, or to where he was grew up at least. So big game for Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino. They've already been to Wembley this season, and of course they lost 1-0 to Liverpool, and they've got the famous title of the £1 billion bottle jobs. Yeah. But blue £1 billion bottle jobs. Make sure you get it correct, Tereak, if you're going to quote Gary Neville. But yes, they are playing at 12:45 on Sunday, the 17th of March. It will be interesting. Of course, Leicester are in the Championship, but are flying high in the Championship, and they will be looking for a trip to Wembley. This was an FA Cup final not too long ago, where Leicester were the winners thanks to Yuri Tielemans' goal. But in terms of team news, Championship leaders will be without top goal scorer Jamie Vardy when they face Chelsea, because Vardy has picked up a small problem against Sunderland at the start of March. Jamie Vardy is now 37. That is crazy. What a career he's had. From where he started, he's done what most people dream of, from the non-league to Premier League champions, playing in the Champions League, England, and scoring for England in Euros. Yeah, he did. We weren't successful in that Euros, but yeah, he's had a wonderful career and he's still going. But Enzo Maresca says, we all love Jamie Vardy, but he's 37 and we cannot forget that. So yeah, if he's got a small problem towards the tail end of his career, it will be difficult for him to play week in, week out, and he's not going to be able to manage the small injuries like he once could have. Former Leicester player Ben Chilwell is available to face his former club after picking up a knee injury on the 2nd of March, so that's good news for Chelsea. But however, they do still have quite a few players out at the moment too, so no one Nkunku, and a lot of their players will be back after the international break. But in terms of my prediction, I can't go against Chelsea again. They're going to pick up again at home and take themselves to Wembley for that semi-final, whoever they face. I hope actually they face Wolves, because I want Liverpool and Man City to face each other in the semi-final. But Chelsea will play, and that kind of leads into my prediction for the next game, doesn't it? But Chelsea will win by 2-0. I do believe. Yeah, just too much of this Leicester team at the moment. They're at home. They're in okay form, let's say. I know after that defeat, they don't think they've lost a game since then. They drew to Brentford, beat Newcastle, and now they're I think they'll just go and beat Leicester in this game here and win by 2-1. Let's see what you're saying in the chat, guys. Mr. 200 said 3-1 Man City. Alvarez hat-trick. King says Doku needs a lot of development. They miss Gundogan a lot. Absolutely. And if they're missing and if they need talking about Doku development, shows how much they miss Riyad Mahrez in those big games and big goals too at the moment. Paxton says a 2-2, so it means he thinks he's going to go to penalties. Wow, crazy. 2-1 Chelsea. I say crazy. I don't think it's actually a crazy prediction, because Leeds nearly took them there, and Leicester are high flying at the top of the league at the moment. So, hey, and Leeds are definitely doing a good job there too. And they rotated a lot of their players. So if Leicester decide to play a stronger team, maybe they can cause Chelsea a few problems. But let's see indeed. Shay's gone for 2-1 Chelsea. Paxton says Leicester have not been great in the Championship recently, so could perform here. You know the FA Cup logic. Yeah, there's no logic in the FA Cup. When Arsenal won it, we finished 8th. So that's the last time we won a major competition. And yeah, we finished 8th, our worst season in the Premier League. Leicester 2-1, says King. He thinks they're going to cause a cup set. Mr. 200 says a 4-2 Chelsea win, so he thinks there's going to be goals in this one here. Listen to Shay, being a moderator here, the top moderator that he is. Remember to put your predictions in the comment section at the end of the stream. Thank you for that, Shay. Question T: does Jamie Vardy have a bigger Premier League legacy than Kane with his Premier League and FA Cup trophy? Absolutely, King. I know Kane, he's not going to get that top goal scoring feat. Actually, I'm not going to say that, because I think, King, that Harry Kane does plan to come back to the Premier League, but I think he wants to go to Bayern Munich, win a major trophy there, challenge for the Champions League, give a good go at it, and then eventually come back to the Premier League and really try to attack that record in his mid to late 30s. But unless he comes back to the Premier League and goes to win, he's not going to do it for me, and he's not going to surpass Jamie Vardy, because Jamie Vardy scored the goals, been the top goal scorer in the league, and he's got a Premier League winners medal to show for it. He's done an absolute fantastic job, and even when I was playing non-league football, Jamie Vardy's career inspired me and made me think this is still possible. That could still be possible for me to make it in the Premier League one day. And he's done that to and inspired a lot of young players who are out there in non-league, who have been released from academies, who weren't necessarily good enough to get the scholarship or released and gone to play first team football lower down the leagues and get that real grind. But Jamie Vardy set that pathway. He's even set up an academy for people who have been released or who haven't been involved in these top professional academies in those environments, and allowing them to give them an opportunity. If you've got the talent, going out there, getting scouted, and then getting opportunities in lower league clubs to really kick on. So Jamie Vardy's done it off the pitch as well. So absolutely, yeah, got a bigger Premier League legacy than Harry Kane. Mads Hermansen is ready for Denmark. There you go, Yannick. I knew you'd find your Danish brother right there. Good goalkeeper. Good Mads Hermansen. Good young goalkeeper. I'd like Arsenal to have a look at him for if we were looking for a backup. 3-1 Leicester, says Yannick. And yes, King. Paxton agrees. Still won't bother Kane scoring a hat-trick against Arsenal soon. We'll see indeed. I like that. I like it. But let's go now into the next game. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Coventry City. This is a West Midlands derby. They are in the West Midlands. They are just south of Birmingham. So yeah, this one is the first game of the FA Cup weekend. And it's the first game of all the fixtures in English football, actually. 12:15 kickoff early in the afternoon, even earlier than what we usually see at a 12:30 game. But this one's massive. A chance for Wolves to make it to the semi-finals of the FA Cup again. I think, was it 2019 or 2018 that happened when they faced Watford 2-0 up. I remember watching it as well. And yeah, 2-0 up, and then they lost 3-2 in the end. Gerard Deulofeu, what a performance he had in that game there. But they'll be taking on Coventry City in this game, and it'll be huge for Wolverhampton Wanderers for this one, but also for Coventry too, because that would be great for them if they could make it into the FA Cup semi-finals. But of course, bit of bias. Stepdad is a Wolves fan, and my mum could potentially go to this game at Wembley with my stepdad. So I'd like for them to do that, and she can have that Wembley experience. That would be great for her. In terms of team news for both sides, Coventry boss Mark Robbins said his side know the magnitude of the task as they prepare to play Wolves. And let's have a look. Coventry midfielder Victor Torp has returned to training and could be available despite picking up a hamstring injury against Watford last Saturday. Mateus Cunha and Craig Dawson may be fit enough to return for Wolves, although Gary O'Neill was coy about revealing any team news during his press conference on Friday. Interesting with that there. O'Neill also refused to give updates on Pedro Neto and Jean-Rick Bellegarde, who picked up hamstring injuries and knee injuries respectively against Fulham last weekend. So interesting. He says, I'm sure our fans will understand giving team news away before FA Cup quarter-final will hand unnecessarily advantages to the opposition. I think Gary O'Neill, and he's not the manager that's invented it, but a manager that's well known for doing it. I'm not going to be what certain people on Twitter are like, with they invent fist pumps and whatnot. But I think he's taken a leaf out of Mikel Arteta's book, because as Arsenal fans who watch press conferences, we know how frustrating it is to try and find out team news from Mikel Arteta, because he'll never give it you, even if a player we won't see for months and months. Yeah, he'll every week. Maybe we've got one more day. We've got one more day to find out. And even though they've got no chance of playing until months away. How many times we've seen it was Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, for goodness sakes, Gabriel Jesus. So yeah, I think he's kind of taken a leaf out of that book there. Interesting to see. But let's have a look now into what you guys are saying here. I've got to give my prediction here first. Don't you worry. I've gone for Wolves 2, Coventry 1. So yeah, I just think Wolves will nick it in the end. I think it's going to be a tight game, because I do believe that Wolves will be having their key players missing, like Pedro Neto, Jean-Rick Bellegarde, and I don't think Mateus Cunha will be involved, but maybe Craig Dawson will be. So that's just my predictions right there. So Wolves 2, Coventry 1. And let me big up Moss, who's here in the building. Big up to yourself, Moss. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back, I'm sure, because you're back home now. Moss, back home, working away, feels like a zombie. You had a great time. We'll have to hear from you, Moss, about your time watching the Arsenal over here in the UK. I need to speak to you, my brother. So big up to yourself, man. And yeah, hope you had a fantastic time. You witnessed history. You witnessed some great games, my man. Tight ones, very emotional ones. But yeah, you got your money's worth. Let's say that for sure. Big up to yourself, Moss. Love seeing you here in the chat. Yannick has gone for a 5-0 Wolves win. Shay's gone for a 2-0 Coventry win. Paxton's gone for a 4-2 Wolves win. Cover the villains for slaying Maidstone. Now they will be slain by West Midland rivals. Exactly. They shouldn't have slain Maidstone. How great would that story be, Pax? Come on, like the story. George Elokobi returns to Wolves. Like, in a chance to make an FA Cup semi-final with lower league, non-league mates, though. That would be amazing. He's a cult hero at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I'm sure the Wolves fans will want them to put the knife to the hearts of Coventry fans because of what they did to George Colby's Maidstone. Hope head into issue. Well, big up to yourself, Pax. I send them your love. Nobody here wanted to come hang with a Mossinator. We went undefeated in New London yet again. I hear you, my man. Sorry, my bro. I was working this week and it's all busy and that with work. Wembley Arsenal vibes says, Moss, come on, Coventry. Both my daughters are Coventry born. So King is going to be cheering on Coventry. Fair play, my man. Fair play indeed, because your kids are Coventry born, so I hear you on that. They're the local team to them, so I hear you. But I'm going to be cheering on Wolves. This is when the first time me and King are up against each other. Even when we talk about Arsenal, we're never up against each other like that. It's going to be, we'll talk about that as well, Moss, towards the end. Don't you worry. 1-0 Cov, says King. Goal King's Coventry upset. Mr. 200 says 3-0 Wolves against Coventry. Sorry for saying Coventry needing to be nuked in the past, King. Wow. Big up to Moss, man. Let's have a look. Need serious payment to ever step foot in Cov again. Okay, Cov's a crazy place. I've played football there, like for teams and like for non football teams and Coventry and University. When I played there for University, we lost like 4-2, man. Yeah, Cov's a mad place. I know. So when I used to work in property, there was there was one of the houses in Coventry down there too. You cannot talk, lost your voice. Wow, from all the cheering, I can imagine the screaming. A big up to yourself, man, in the place. Hey, big up to you. Hey, respect my local team, Coventry. Hey, this is big, man. We got a little rivalry in here. Me and Pax together versus King and Manch, Cov locals. Big up to yourself, Manch and King, in each and every time. Met lots of Norwegians and Gooners from all over. Yeah, they're all gone to see Erdegaard. That's why the king himself. But yeah, guys, let's go into the Premier League fixtures now. I'm going to whiz through these a little quicker because we do have big topics to talk about, and also I want to hear your thoughts on the topics that I want to speak about too. Fulham take on Tottenham Hotspur here. This one is also at the same time that Manchester City will be playing Newcastle, but this is a Premier League fixture. So guys, make sure you get your FPL sorted for this. Fulham versus Tottenham. We know how Fulham are a very erratic side. You never really know what to expect from them. They've played against a North London team twice, and when they last time played a North London team at Craven Cottage, they beat them 2-1 and convincingly too, and they deserve to win. Yeah, they beat the mighty Arsenal. And the last time that they played Spurs at Craven Cottage, they beat them in the Carabao Cup on penalties. So they will not fear Tottenham at all. But Tottenham, after that big 4-0 win up against Aston Villa, will be going into this game with a lot of confidence, knowing that top four is in their hands and in their destiny. It looks like the 5th position is going to be available anyway, so they're in a strong position for that. So Champions League qualification is in their hands, and then they'll also just want to try and end the season well, as many points as possible, so that you can use it as a springboard for next season and to potentially challenge for the title. That's what Tottenham will be looking at. Whether they do it or not, we'll have to wait and see. They never win it because they're Tottenham at the end of the day, so I can't praise them too much. But in terms of team news for this game, let me just have a look here for you now, guys. So what we've got, Chelsea are beating Arsenal 3-0. We're getting battered here. But yeah. So Fulham welcome back Raul Jimenez, who's resumed first team training after missing 6 games with a hamstring injury, meaning they have a fully fit squad. So that means João Palhinha and Willian, who began last weekend on the bench, could return to the starting lineup. So Fulham have a fully fit squad for this one here. However, Tottenham are without Mickey van der Ven, who suffered a minor hamstring injury up against Aston Villa. That's interesting because obviously we know the serious injury that he picked up against Chelsea earlier in the season, Mickey van der Ven, and he was a bigger hamstring tear. hamstring injuries, when you're picking them up recurring, it's not good. It's not a good sign. I know it's minor for now, and you are likely to pick up an injury after that, but another hamstring one, and hopefully, but Tottenham fans will be hoping. And you know what, for me as well, because I want to see competitive teams in here, we'll be hoping that Mickey van der Ven is not to the same hamstring, and it's not going to increase his likelihood of a recurrence too much. But his absence could mean January signing, who was highly sought after by Bayern Munich as well, and Radu Dragusin could start his first Premier League game. Richarlison is expected to be available despite a knee issue. So I think, though, this game is going to be very tight. But I do believe Spurs are going to use it, and not bounce back, but they're going to use that Aston Villa game for a lot of confidence. I think both teams are going to score. Spurs leaky at the back anyway with Mickey van der Ven there after keeping a clean sheet, but put Villa were poor in that game. I just think that they're going to have too much for Fulham in the end. Fulham will be knocking on the door. They'll create chances, but the likes of Son, Richarlison, Werner, Brennan Johnson's in good form now too, Maddison, Kulusevski, yeah, they're just going to cause them too many problems, and I think Spurs will win by 2-1. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. We've got plenty of people here in the chat. Big up to yourselves each and every time. Big up to my brother Enz in the building. Thank you for inviting me on again, my brother. I really do appreciate you for that. It was class. Always class talking football. So, guys, if you want to see me as well, more on there, go check on Enz's channel. Go subscribe. Click onto it. He's got a second channel coming up as well, Enzman TV 1. So stay locked in there. We talk all things football. He is a Liverpool fan, bearing in mind, but yeah, he's all good, man. He's all good. A sensible Liverpool fan you can have proper football chat with. So big up to you, my bro Ends right there. Let's have a look. I saw a place called Skinny Chickens in London. Must be Hotspur place. Look, Skinny Chicken Ball there. There's a place called Slim Chickens too. It might be that one. Was you on about that one, Slims? Kings, of course. City. I'm trying to put the reverse psychology on this fixture. Oh, okay. I missed a comment. 2-1 Fulham, says Mr. 200. Interesting indeed for that one there. I hope you're correct, though. I really do. The Arsenal ladies are getting worked over. 3-0 I saw against Chelsea. That's kind of us out of the title race. Big up to yourself, Manch. Fulham 2-1 as well in the Skinny Chicken Derby. Spurs are in great form. Absolutely. Tereak says he wants to talk to Moss but never reads messages. Moss, I'm sorry, that's always the case. I don't read my mum's messages. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I'm just awful at messages. I'm awful at responding to them. I get distracted in so many different things, whether it's work or, even if I'm not working, I just get distracted. Apologies, my bro. But yeah, we'll definitely speak soon for sure. You're right. It was Slim Chickens. But why would you want skinny chicken? You want big breasts for chickens. Moss, my man. Hey, we can keep it PG. 4-0 Tottenham, says Shay. Guys, get the rest of your predictions in the chat. I'm going to fly through these ones now. West Ham versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa now, off the back of their 4-0 win against Ajax. What a big victory it was for Aston Villa. And what an important victory it was for Aston Villa to make it into the next round of the Europa Conference League. And they will be facing Lille. And I think they're on the same side of the draw as Olympiacos and Fenerbahce. Aston Villa are the favourites in that competition now, performing really well in the Premier League. Could even get into the Champions League. What I think is going to be interesting is how they try and balance their results in that one there. How they're going to try and balance that sort of Thursday, Sunday factor, because they've got a massive opportunity now to try and do something. Diaby did score, in fact, the idiot. But yeah, massive opportunity, but they're going to have to be going away to another Europa League side who are in to the quarterfinals, and West Ham United are taking on Bayer Leverkusen. What a tie that is. I'm going to be watching that on the Thursday night. Sorry, Liverpool, I'm not watching you because you're going to win that comfortably against Atalanta, but I'm going to be watching that West Ham game because that one is going to be delightful. David Moyes, and his team are going to be setting up against one of probably the best performing team, actually the best performing team in Europe right now, who had a ridiculous comeback against Karabag in 2 legs, 2-0 down in the first and then 2-0 down in the second, but were still able to win. They drew the first leg 2-2, but then they won thanks to Patrick Schick's 2 goals in added time, but they were up against 10 men, so that must be a big plus on that for them. But yeah, they're through to the next round, on course for the treble by Leverkusen. Could win the Bundesliga, could win the DFB Pokal and the Europa League, but they will have a big test, and they're on this side of the draw away from Liverpool, so we could see Xavi Alonso taking on Klopp in Dublin for his final game as Liverpool manager. And he is linked with a Liverpool job, but he's very much heavily linked with a Bayern Munich job. So it could be both managers' last dance at their current clubs. So interesting indeed for that. Let's have a look right here in terms of my prediction. I have gone for a nice 2-2 draw. I just think both teams, off the back of European competition, they will be a little bit lethargic defensively, but they'll leave opportunities for both sides to go and score. And I think that will be a not a great result for Aston Villa drawing that game, because at this time in the season, a draw is kind of like a defeat because there's so little games left to go. And if they lose, and they've already lost the mantle, they lost control of the top 4 race, as that is in Spurs' hand. But again, 5th place could open up, and they don't really want to be dropping points to allow Manchester United in, because I looked at the running for the 3 teams, Spurs, Villa and Man United. They have the hardest run in, Aston Villa, out of all 3. So they're really going to be wanting to take points here. But I do think they'll drop points, and maybe West Ham could even... Nah, I think they're a bit too far away, aren't they, actually, from the top 4 hunt. I think they are a little bit too far away from the Champions League hunt. But yeah, they'll want to continue in the Europa League if they don't progress after this stage. So they'll try and finish in that 6th to 7th place spot. Let's go now into... I'm going to go into the next games quickly, and then I'll ask for your predictions, guys. Burnley versus Brentford. I've gone for a 2-1 Brentford win. I just think that Brentford at the moment, with Ivan Toney, they're going to return back to some good form. They've had difficult fixtures. They've faced the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, all in recent weeks, and that's contributed to them being in poor form. But I just think they'll have too much for Burnley. Too much Premier League know-how, experience, too much quality for Burnley to deal with, and Ivan Toney is a part of that quality there. I just think also, and yeah, be the final game before he goes into international break, where he's going to try and impress for Gareth Southgate, and it could be without Ollie Watkins, in fact. So after he picked up his knee injury, Luton versus Nottingham Forest. I flashed that up quickly. I think Luton are going to lose this game here, and I think this is where we kind of see them kind of peter out for the season, and we kind of see the 3 set in stone. The 3 teams that got promoted will all go down after that dramatic 3-0 up and losing 4-3 to Bournemouth. I think that's going to be a real sucker punch to the gut. And I just think, in the end, that Nottingham Forest are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to try and extend that gap at least until they get their points deduction, which is pretty unfair at this stage to have looming over them, and they're not, and all that uncertainty. It's crazy. I think it will be 2-1 Nottingham Forest there. So that's all the Premier League fixtures that I've gone through. Let me see your thoughts in the chat on what you've said here, because it's important, and we've got plenty more fixtures to go. Looks like Ollie Watkins has the warning sign by his name in the FPL. I was watching the game, in fact, John, where he picked up that injury, and it looked like a bad injury initially. I thought it was a bad knee injury. He carried on playing, he scored, and then he went off. And Leon Bailey said after the game that it was a deep cut on his knee, so he had a deep cut. So similar to Martinelli, which had a deep cut on his foot, but he had a deep cut on his knee. So it just all depends on how if that's able to heal, if they're able to stitch it up, and if he's able to carry on playing, and he won't reopen the wound again, to see if he'll be available. It's highly unlikely that he will, given the short turnaround, but We'll have to see. Aston Villa will assess him, they've said, but they're not going to want to be without him, are they, John? Because he's been so good for them this season and just such a good player overall. What have we got in here? So, guys, 4-0 Tottenham. T's unprepared, late, never reads messages. The red flags are showing. 2-1 West Ham. 2-0 Spuds. Exactly. Packs. I'm just not the full package. I can't have everything. West Ham 3-3. Diaby hat-trick, please. Absolutely not. I can't have another Diaby goal. It's what, 9-7 at the moment, something crazy like that. But Havertz doesn't have a chance to play this weekend. Had to rock Nando's, so we beat those Portuguese down. Love that Portuguese chicken there. Indeed. Put Nando's. I had that for dinner today, actually. Moss, I had Nando's today. I've still got the bag. I got it delivered though. It's not as good having it delivered when you get it sent over when you eat in the restaurant. So I need to put the bag in the bin. But yeah, I had that today, and it's actually South African with Portuguese inspired. Yeah. I found that out like a year ago. So it's South African, but Portuguese. It's South African, but South Africa's take on Portuguese food. Weird. But yeah. Claret and Blue Derby gotta be a draw 2-2 as well. That's what you've said. Kudus and Watkins. Oh my days, that reminds me. Kudus's goal. Ridiculous. Moss, do you remember when me and you were talking in the summer? And other Arsenal fans, like King there too, saying, I'd love Kudus at Arsenal. I'd love us to sign him. Give him Saka rotation minutes. Mate, why didn't we? No, I think I know the reason why. I think it's because he was flirting with Chelsea. And again, what Arsenal say, once a player starts flirting with another club, and they don't make their intentions clear that they want to come to Arsenal, see you later. We're not going to try and fight for you. But yeah, interesting. But again, they say that, but then if they go for Osimhen, that's a bit weird. 3-3 West Ham versus Villa. Both teams leak goals. I agree with you. Yannick says Aston Villa with a goal. Watkins incoming. Aston Villa win by 3-0. 3-1 West Ham, says Shay. Leverkusen are unstoppable, Paxton. Indeed. Even when they look like they're about to lose the game, they always manage to get it in the end. That thought was over. Then Patrick Schick, razor sharp he was indeed. West Ham fans disrespectful to Moyes. 3rd straight quarter-final in Europe. 1 trophy and currently sitting in 7th. Exactly. They're in the 3rd straight quarter-final. They just don't understand. They're not grateful. I think West Ham fans are probably the most ungrateful fans in the league. Yeah, talking about Moyes out, banners and all of these things. He literally won your European trophy last season, my friend. Man United, the big Man United, have shown a lot of patience to Erik Ten Hag after he won a Carabao Cup and yes, finished 3rd. Whereas David Moyes has won a European trophy with West Ham United, and they're talking about sacking him. And they're 4 points off of that Man United team. Ridiculously spoiled West Ham fans, and I'm happy to say that to their face. Big up to yourself, Conor Bradley. Can you please give me a goal to edit? I don't. I need a goal. I need to find a goal. Kudus. Can you edit? Do you want to edit Kudus's goal, or do you want a Liverpool goal? Kudus, edit that goal. Definitely, you'd love that one there if you're still here. Big up to yourself, Conor Bradley's edits. Whoever stops Leverkusen needs to celebrate for a full year. Exactly, for sure. Unbeaten in all competitions right now. They haven't lost a single game in all comps. West Ham, if you do it. 2-1 Aston Villa, says Mr. 200. Let's have a look in here. Nearly had a scrap with some Porto fans. Talking madness. Really? Hey, I need to find out more about that. Yep. So Kudus, have you gone for the Kudus goal? Have you gone for that? That would be great. Burnley 0, Brentford 1. Tony last minute winner, says Paxton. 3-0 Brentford. Tony hat-trick, says Shay. Interesting indeed. Nice seeing those in the chat. 2-1 Bees. 1-1 Luton. 0-0. Again, people going for draws in the Luton Forest game. 2-1 Forest in there too. Swapped Watkins out for Tony. Interesting. Your sister answers messages into the chat. I know what you mean. Boss moving mad. Hey, that does sound a bit mad. I hear what you mean there. I know what you mean. Oh man. But I get you. I hear you. T is talking too much, so much less waffle. Luton 11, big up to yourself, Casey, in here. I guess that could sound dodgy. Hey, facts. It did indeed. Kudus, Moss always called. Kudus was number one. Exactly. He was very good. Very good. Guess who's back? Back again. Big up to yourself, Casey. Let's go through the predictions league table and then we'll talk about some of the key topics to end off as well. So the table was looking like this last week, and there hasn't been any changes, but there has been points difference and points gaps closed increased by Mange. Mange is still top of the league with Moss in second place, and then I've got a 11 points behind Moss in third. Paxton is 12 points behind me in fourth. Mr. 200 is only in the 9 points off of Pax, though, looking to try and break into that top four in fifth position. Shay has broken the 100-point mark. Congratulations to yourself, Shay. You've had a quite a couple of decent weeks in the beginning of March. King is not too far off of Shay, though, after missing quite a few weeks, in fact. So fair play to yourself, King. When you have played, you've been quite good, and with 94 points there. And we also have new entries in as well in the last few weeks. I've just kind of ruined a surprise there. But we have newer entries like Bungle, who put his in there. Drex is recently in the past couple of weeks in there too. Mark put them in. Nightwolf as well. So big up to everyone who has put their predictions in here. I really do appreciate you. Even if you've missed a lot, don't really matter, guys. The fact that you've done it at the end, I really appreciate you guys there. And the predictor of the month is for March is looking like this. It's familiar territory for Manja Moss in first and second position. 5 points separates them between the two. We will have this weekend's fixtures, and then when we do return, that's the final set of fixtures for March. So don't worry, guys, you've still got 2 weeks to go at it. Moss is going to want to try and close that gap and potentially overtake Mange, and Shay is not too far. He's only 1 point off of Moss, 6 points between first and third right there. Interesting. I can also tell you, Pax, you currently got 8 points. Mr. 200, you've got 12 points for this month, so you're 2 points off of Shay. So there's 8 points between Mange, Moss, Mr. 200 and Shay. Not in that order, but Shay and Mr. 200. So yeah, and then 12 points between Mange and between Mange and Pack. So not too far really, with 2 game weeks left to go, guys. So plenty to still play for the month of March, and plenty to still play for the predictor of the season. Let me see what you're saying. Mange is Leverkusen and City combined. So you are including FA Cup matches then too. Yes, I am. Yeah. I said it at the start of the stream, but yeah, because I know you just joined towards the end. Moss, in terms of the FA Cup fixtures, it is whatever the result is after. So if Man United and Liverpool goes to extra time, but there's a winner after extra time, and you predict Man United 2-1 win, and Man United win 2-1 after extra time, you will get the points. So it's whatever result you predict after extra time, if it does go to extra time. So if it goes to penalties and you predict a draw, you'll get 3 points. But if you predict a Man United win and Man United win on penalties, you won't get it. So it's only for after 120 minutes. So if it goes to penalties, it classes as a draw. That's hopefully that's clear. If a FA Cup fixture goes to penalties, that game is a draw, and that will only go if you predict a draw, that will go down as a draw. Like Super Ree basically, but no close 1.5 points. No 1.5 points. I need to get 9 or 9 points. Yes, you can, man. You can indeed. So all FA Cup fixtures now. Yep, all the FA Cup quarterfinals. Wolves versus Coventry. Chelsea, Leicester, Man City, Newcastle, and Man United, Liverpool. Just now. Yeah, you missed the ones at the start. Yeah, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Leicester, and Wolves, Coventry. So guys, we have to talk about the some big topics that's happened of late in the football world, and I thought this would be a great time to do so, and also just a few bits and bobs that I wanted to speak to you about, what things I want to bring in terms for the channel coming up here too. We're gonna have to speak about the Champions League draw, aren't we? We're just going to have to speak about the Champions League draw because we are in for some enticing ties. And guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Champions League draw as well. Arsenal fans, non-Arsenal fans, what are you looking forward to? Which game are you looking forward to the most? What do you think is going to happen? Because seriously, I can't wait. I really can't wait for these fixtures. And it looks like that Arsenal will be playing Bayern Munich on the same night as Real Madrid take on Manchester City. So for both legs, it looks like that's going to be the case, which is interesting because I would like to be able to watch the Real Madrid Man City game just for the tie that is. That is the tie of the round. But of course, I'll be watching them at Arsenal, which I believe is the second tie of the second biggest tie of the round. I just can't wait for it. Indeed, let me get this image saved right here. So, so here we go. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you now, guys. Give me 1 second, so we can kind of do this together and talk about the route to the final whilst we're also talking about the games themselves. Let me take away this background and then I'll zoom in here too. So guys, we have a cracker, we have a corker, that is for sure. What a round. Let's talk about Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. That is huge. Atletico Madrid at the start of this year, they were my underdogs. They were my dark horses. I was invited onto James Lawrence Alcott's channel for the Champions League draw to be the Arsenal representative. Thank you for James for that massive opportunity he gave me there. And it was great to talk with some English fans, Man United fan, Newcastle fan, Man City fan, and myself being an Arsenal fan, but also listening to some experts around European football, some Spanish football experts, German football experts and whatnot. And talking about Atletico Madrid, I gave them as my dark horses because of El Cholo, otherwise known as Diego Simeone, how experienced he is, the dark arts that he does have and he possesses, and how he just manages to motivate his teams and keep his teams involved in games. They've really changed. They're kind of like, they've evolved, shall we say? I don't even like using that word, but you know what I mean. Evolved from a really staunch defensive side that didn't score many goals, but they're a lot more free flowing. They do let a little bit more chances upon their goals too. I think that was clear to see in both legs against Inter Milan, but it was definitely clear to see that they are more attacking, that they are more free flowing. They will score goals. Griezmann, the top goal scorer. Morata scored plenty of goals this season too. I think they've got a ridiculous over 30 goals between them this season, and they still do have those warriors in the team, your Stefan Savic's, your Kolke's, and they still have Oblak in goal, who was crucial in that penalty shootout. I just think they're a fantastic team. Borussia Dortmund, they deserve to beat PSV, but they're quite fortunate to be this far, let's to be honest. I know they did well in their group, in the group of death, so they do deserve some credit to even get there, get to this stage. But for me, there's a clear favourite in this one here, and I'm going for Atletico de Madrid to progress out of that one there. At the Wanda Metropolitano, I think, Borussia Dortmund will be happy that they'll get to play their second leg at, what is their stadium called? At the Signal Iduna Park, of course. But, yeah, I just think that they know how they'll have too much done in the first leg and they'll just keep it tight in the second. Let's see what you're saying. Any other on this topic? People sleeping on the Dortmund game. It could be very good with the opposing styles. It's a great shout because Dortmund can't really defend at all. They're very free flowing, forward thinking, aggressive with their press, whereas Atletico Madrid are happy to be conservative. They're happy to kind of sit back a little bit and, yeah, soak up a little bit of pressure, and they'll hit you on a transition, which is interesting indeed. We'll get into the Arsenal Bayern one here as well, guys. Don't you worry about that. You got plenty of comments about this there, and I'm really looking forward to talking with you guys about that. Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. Again, interesting tie. A lot of narratives in there. Remember La Remontada? Remember that? And that was when Paris Saint-Germain under Unai Emery were 4-0 up in that first leg. They won at the Parc des Princes against Barcelona. And for Barcelona to only come back in controversial fashion, let's say, with a few crazy decisions in there, but winning by 6-1 to qualify. And that was with away goals too. That was Cavani scored in that game, but they lost 6-1 and Barcelona progressed. And I think, yeah, they won the Champions League that season, I'm correct in saying. I just think Barcelona defensively looked frail. I saw that team up against Napoli. That wasn't an impressive lineup. There was a lot of youngsters, a lot of inexperience there. But you can also say the same about PSG, who have gone down the Parisian route. They're not looking to sign Galacticos that they once did before, you know, when they had Messi, Neymar, Mbappe's final season. And they're signing a lot more French talent and you building with a younger core. I think PSG have got something here. I really do, because of Kylian Mbappe. I think both teams are quite leaky and they've got their vulnerabilities. They're not the strongest PSG side and it's not the strongest Barcelona side we've seen of late, but the Mbappe factor is enough for me. Lamine Yamal is going to be an excellent watch. I think that of course, that's going to be the game that I'm going to be watching whilst Arsenal aren't playing. So, because this one's going to be on the Wednesday night, so after the Arsenal first leg, and their second leg is going to happen before our second leg. So I'm going to be watching this one for sure. Paris Saint-Germain. Should I do watch-alongs for it, guys? I think I want to bring more watch-alongs after the international break. So I think I might I'm definitely going to be doing a watch-along for this one. But I think it's going to be a PSG progression into that one here. Barcola can cook too. Exactly, I hear you. This one is going to be closer. Moss, I do agree. Don't know who to pick between PSG and Barca. I agree, man. I just feel like it's harder to decide who's going to progress out of that one because it's all about moments in this game. Both teams aren't strong. Both teams aren't necessarily defensively good. So, yeah, Diego, too good. I'll talk about that as well. I'm going to start some of your comments here, guys, about the other fixtures. Diego Simeone, 6 wins away from home, 6 wins away from 400 wins as approaching 700 games managed for them. Wow. Excellent record against the likes, won a league already against the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid. The work he has done there, but that is his club. I annoyed some cocky Inter Milan fans, Italians in Islington, as a clown saying he wants Arsenal, and I told him you're losing to Diego, and then he took off before the end. There's been a lot of cocky Inter Milan fans on social media too, so you've seen them in the real world. That's interesting. So yeah, I think Atletico Madrid versus PSG semi-final. But this is the game that we want to talk about, guys. Come on. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. How are you feeling about this, Arsenal fans in the chat? How are you feeling? Because me personally, I am excited. Ask my sister, Alicia. I wanted this game. This was the game that I was begging for at the beginning of the season. I wanted Bayern Munich in the group stage. And that was before we knew Bayern Munich would be as weak as they were. And you know what? They've not been terribly bad. They've just not been to the level that we know and expect from Bayern Munich. But I saw enough in those early stages in the beginning of the season against Leipzig in the German Super Cup, losing 3-0 at the Allianz Arena, by the way. I saw enough defensively. They lack stability. Going forward, they're ridiculous. Harry Kane, the amount of goals he scored, Jamal Musiala, Leroy Sané, Kingsley Coleman. I know he's injured at the moment, but the talent he has, he's always injured. Serge Gnabry, excellent team going forward. Alphonso Davies, as some of you mentioned in the chat. However, They are coming up against a different Arsenal team. I'm saying this with chest right now. We are an Arsenal team that in this competition, in other teams left, including the league, bearing in mind Arsenal are playing in the Premier League, and we know how tough that is, and we know that Man City, the Liverpools that are in there, some of the best teams in Europe right now. Arsenal have the best defence. The best defense left in this league. You can do it by goals conceded. You can do it by expected goals if you want to look at the underlying metrics, the goals for and against. Arsenal have the best defense left in this competition. And what I know from the Champions League, the teams with the best defense, the teams that can be resolute, tend to go far and tend to go into even as deep as the final, even win it. Of course, you need your attackers to give you moments. Of course, you need that stardust that can put the ball in the back of the net in close, tight games. But if you can make games tight, you can keep games close. You can use your home advantage and use that to get over the line. And then if you're built from a solid base and foundation, when you're traveling away from home to these difficult places, you can nullify them and you can make it a difficult place. And that's what I think Arsenal are very good at. I think Arsenal, what we're underrated at is also the dark arts, guys. I don't think people rate Arsenal about the dark arts because it's not necessarily within our history. It's not necessarily what you're used to thinking about with Arsenal. When you stereotypically think about Arsenal, you think pretty football, good free-flowing football, mentally, bit rocky, can't handle dark arts. I saw enough in terms of dark arts, little things about the games, like in a lot of our big wins this season, to know that we can do this. We are a young team. We are inexperienced in the competition. I'm aware of that. And I'm aware of the threats that Bayern Munich holds. But I see massive vulnerabilities in Bayern Munich defensively. Man United fans, I think you can support me on that, in fact. I think you can agree with me on that, in fact. When a poor Manchester United team that were in a struggling position, and even worse than they are now, and Man United, who had Onana literally throwing the ball in the back of the net, came up against a Bayern Munich team, beginning of the season, scoring goals and that, but were able to score and create chances against them. I think Arsenal can definitely do that. At home, we're going to have that big factor of having 60,000 Arsenal fans. I'm applying for a ticket for that, by the way, so I can try and get that. Hopefully it increases the likelihood of me getting that, but I know there's going to be plenty of people trying to get it there. I think we can do it. What I believe will happen is Arsenal will get a 2-goal margin in the first leg and may lose by 1 goal in the second leg as Bayern are chasing it, but then Arsenal will progress through. I'm very confident of Arsenal beating Bayern Munich. Just seen enough from them defensively. Thomas Tuchel wouldn't believe in Bayern Munich if he was doing a good job. He wouldn't believe in Bayern Munich if he was doing a good job. Thomas Tuchel, experience in this competition, has won it, of course. He's been to the final with PSG, won it with Chelsea. But Arteta's record against Thomas Tuchel, he's pretty good. Pretty good. So I think too much is made about Arsenal's lack of experience in the Champions League. I think too much is made of that. Talk to me about Atletico Madrid's Champions League experience. Talk to me about that. Their experience in the Champions League before 2014. Not a lot. So I think Arsenal can do something here. These players aren't going to have the fear. They're not going to be feeling the trepidation that a lot of fans are feeling because they don't have that trauma. They're a young team. This is a very mature team as well. That, trust me, dark arts is our thing as well. Don't sleep on us in the dark arts. So I really do believe that Arsenal are going to go through. And I'd say that if I weren't an Arsenal fan. The semi-finals, though, that's where it gets a bit sticky. But let me see what you're saying in the chat, guys. I really want to see what you're saying. Big up to my brother G in here as well. Love to see you in here, my bro. Benny Blanco, Kai, Gabriel are masters of the dark arts. Absolutely. Great shout. I was thinking of Ben White, Gabriel, Kai. Who else is in there? Who else could we mention? I mean, yeah, it's true. I'm thinking of all of them. I'm trying to think. Have we got anyone else? I mean, Arteta's a bit of he loves the dark arts too. Sounds good on paper, but you're playing football. You're not playing football on paper, T. I know that. And on paper, Bayern Munich will be favourites because they've been in here in the competition a lot. They've got the experience. That's what people will think. On grass, Arsenal are a better footballing team. Kai shoving, Conte Sal and tugging Pepe. We can go dark. Benny not so Blanco top exactly. I'm looking forward for the clash. I want revenge. I think that will suit us. And Tuchel got a terrible record against Arteta. Exactly. Buying no fans, extra tickets. So maybe I need to come to London again, as I've never seen us lose in London. Exactly that there. Okay, sorry, yeah, I'm just going up backwards, bro. I'm going up backwards. Arteta is on the dark arts mode. Declan is exactly a tank. He is a tank. Beat this fraudulent club, he's saying in terms of Ala Madrid, Real Madrid, and Man City. I was on Enz's channel talking about this. I think Real Madrid progress against Man City. The reason being, Man City aren't the same Man City that they were last season. Defensively, they look more vulnerable. Attacking, they still look good. They look just as good, probably, let's say, probably better, because Phil Foden's getting into the goals. Erling Haaland's still scoring, not at the same rate, but he's still scoring enough. They've got Kevin De Bruyne back, who looks kind of reinvigorated. And if that injury, if it is a real injury, then he should be fine there too. However, King said it earlier. Me and King have been preaching this all season. To be fair, before a ball was even kicked, me and King were saying this. Losing Gundogan, losing Mahrez is going to be huge. And the little bit of drop-off physically with John Stones, Kyle Walker being as essential in this team as he wasn't last season. Last season at this time, when Kyle Walker was playing for Man City, he was only coming in for certain Champions League games. He wasn't playing the league games because Pep Guardiola literally spoke and said, we might have moved past Kyle Walker in terms of what I want to do with this team. But he's there. He's playing week in, week out at his later part of his career. With the age, a year older with likes of Kevin De Bruyne, and we're seeing how it's affecting him physically against Real Madrid, who are happy to counter-attack and have the speed up there to cause them problems. You saw what Liverpool did with speed, directness, pace. Bellingham in that false nine position, not necessarily having a striker that they know that can really literally be like a static forward. They've got the Bellingham, the Vinicius Junior, the Rodrigo. They've got the midfield experience with a Kroos, with a Modric. They've got the youth and the legs and the athleticism in a Camavinga, a Valverde. They've got the grit with a Tchouaméni, with a Rudiger. They've got the dark arts with Carvajal. I just think it's important, and they're going to get Courtois back because I don't like Andre Lunin. I don't really. I know he's done a good job, and there's been a lot of praise for him, but I just think in the top level, I think he could get exposed and he could get found out. But if they get Courtois fit and he's able to play and he's able to be close to his top level, I'm going for Real Madrid. That's what I'm going for, and I think. Would I prefer Man City? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Valverde against the world. He's ridiculous, and he's physically, he's a joke. He's a joke. Quick, fast, strong, and he runs for ages. Real will counter against Real Madrid, against City, and it won't suit them. Rodrigo, Vinny, Bellingham will be a problem for that defense. Selling Cancelo. How am I forgetting? Selling Cancelo, Laporte, Gundo, Mahrez, Jesus, Zini, Sterling. He's catching up on City. If not for their GOAT manager, they would struggle more. I hear you again. Courtois stopping KDB again. I need that. We need that. We do indeed. Al Madrid. However, if City are at their best and they look defensively strong, City can do that. They can breeze past Real Madrid. The reason I've gone for Real Madrid is just because I think City defensively, man, Defensively, Real Madrid causing problems. High-scoring games. We saw Chelsea fall for it. We saw what Chelsea can do on the counter. Real Madrid on the counter-attack are more scary than Chelsea. Real Madrid on the counter-attack. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham. You see the vision. You see it. Real Madrid. Okay, guys, this is a crazy Champions League draw. Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. Do you know what? For narrative, even though this is what I believe will happen, let's go Barcelona. Barcelona in the final. Let's go Arsenal. Let's do that. Could you... Brother, guys, could you imagine this? I'm moving a bit mad right now. I've skipped ahead. I've not really spoke about the semi-finals. We'll speak to them when they come. But I want this. This is the final I want. This is the final I need and I want. I'm dreaming. Guys, of course I'm dreaming. Of course. Look, Paxton in here. Hey, I know I'm dreaming. I know I am. But Barcelona or Arsenal. My first footballing memory was Arsenal losing 2006. I was a kid. I was 7 years old. 6, I might have been. Nah, I was younger than that. No, I was 6. I was 6. 6 years old. Watching this with my sister, Alicia. The reason why I support Arsenal. Yeah. And I cried my eyes out. We lost 2-1 in the Champions League final in Paris. The road to London. I want revenge. The ultimate revenge run, that would be. We've got great memories at the Bernabeu. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. Hey, Pax is laughing. I understand. But Arsenal have gone to the Bernabeu and won. We've done that. It's in our history. You talk about heritage. That's in our heritage. We got Bernabeu. We got winners there. Thierry Henry. Sergio Ramos. That goal he scored in that 1-0 victory. We can do that. I'd need Real Madrid in that semi-final because I think we could. Again, heritage and that. Just the way that Arsenal play. We don't really let too much go in the transition. I think we'd be happy. This is why, again, styles make fights. Real Madrid, Man City. Real Madrid suited to play them. Counter-attack transitions. Arsenal, Real Madrid. Arsenal will say, here you go. Have the football, Carlo. Have the football. You know, you do your thing. We can transition you. And then we can play with the ball too. Of course, if you give us the ball, we can play through you. If you try and press us, we'll play through you. But Real Madrid, you got the heritage. Your favourites go. We're happy to be without a possession. Arteta and Pep aren't exactly the same. Arteta's happy to have no possession. Hang on. What was the possession that Porto had against us? Let me have a look at this right now. Because I think I'm correct in saying Porto had more possession against us. Am I correct in saying that? No, 55-45. Against Porto, we was happy to not have 60+% of possession. So we had 55%. They had 45. We do that again. Real Madrid have the ball for a bit. Yeah, we might slightly edge it. Real Madrid, you have it. And then give us that final. But yeah, big one, guys. T's waffling. No! Pax, you're hurting my heart. The thought of that. No. Gundogan winner in that final. Get out of here. Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Nah. I want that final. Do you know what? If Arsenal got that Barcelona final and Arsenal won, live on stream, I'd cry. I promise. I won't be doing a watch long. I'll try and make it there, but I'll do whatever live I can, out and about. I'll cry to you, reaction, whatever. That would be crazy. Champions League. Most Arsenal fans, no Arsenal fan has ever seen it, and we've done it in a complete revenge way. My first memory. I could die a happy man. I could die a happy man. I could die after that, and I'd be happy. Obviously, I wouldn't want to, but you know, Arsenal to the final. Shay. But guys, there's my little dream right there. There's plenty to go. There's plenty to go. Arsenal Bayern. That's going to be a huge one. I'm looking forward to that. It's a shame though. It really is a shame that it's going to be on the same night as the Real Madrid Man City game, because I really would want to watch that. I want to see that. But yeah. I'm not, and I can't do double watch along for Arsenal games. I already have that t-shirt. You do indeed. I don't. So I need that. But guys, the final thing I wanted to speak about, and this is a man that I've defended a lot. A man that I said was the best England manager that we've had since Sir Alf Ramsey. Whenever people question his decisions in terms of bringing in Harry Maguire's, you know, Jordan Henderson's and whatnot. No, he needs players he can trust in there. Those players have been loyal to him. He's been loyal to them. He's protected them in tough times. And you know what? Respect for a man who protects in tough times. Respect for that. Because that shows true leadership. Even when everyone else is throwing them under the bus, even when everyone else is throwing dirt, doing all types of madness. Nah, this guy stays true to his ones, and he respects them, and he faces and he trusts them. And you need that in an international tournament. I've always said that. But what this man done the other day, yesterday, coming out speaking about it, was an absolute disgrace. Forget about it being an Arsenal player in Ben White. And when I'm talking about this man, I'm talking about, of course, Gareth Southgate. Of course, I'm talking about Gareth Southgate. Because forget about it. Forget about what I'm saying in terms of being an Arsenal player. Because you cannot throw players under the bus like that. You can't. And do you know what the worst part about it? You cannot lie. You cannot lie to us and say, there's no problem. He just chose not to play for us. There's no problem with Steve Hollands. I don't like those rumours, the speculation, when there clearly is an issue. Why would Benjamin White reject the opportunity to play for England when he's come out and previously spoken about his desire, his passion, and the fact that he cried when he got picked for England? For someone that Arsenal fans know a lot and know that this guy will play with an injury. This guy will do anything to get on that football pitch, and his desire and his love for the game cannot ever be questioned. Why would he do that? Because he wants to save his own back. That's why. Because he wants to save his own back. And he's thrown a player under the bus to the Lions for himself. And you're a manager that wants that respect. You're a manager that expects for others to respect you. Now, I think you're in trouble. And I've lost a lot of respect for him for that. This man. Look at that. It's a disgrace to do that to a player. Even if it was a Man United player, let's say anyone. And then the Athletic article, with the incident with Steve Holland, where Steve Holland questioned his desire and his ability to learn, which is mad to me. Crazy. Because you can't question a man's desire when he's available for every game. He plays every match for Arsenal without fail. The minutes he had. The brother, when he was on loan at Leeds, played all 46 games and played every single minute available. And you're questioning about a man's desire. And that was, and he played all 46 games after they got promoted as well, guys. Already succeeded, already done it, lock off, everything. And he already, and now you want to question his desire. Mad to me. Absolute crazy. The way he hung out Benny is a disgrace, and Arteta's strong comment last year makes more sense now. Yep, in the fact that we know who the player is, we know Ben White, and we're here to support him. When that England situation happened, Arsenal put out a big statement saying, we're with you, Ben. I remember, because at the time we had no knowledge or nothing about the situation. We only found out after the World Cup. I remember at the time thinking, okay, is this man like mentally not feeling great? Has he got any mental health issues? Has he got any physical health issues that we should be worried about? But then coming back to Arsenal playing absolutely out of his skin again. Okay, what, a bit weird. Finding out that he had an incident with Steve Holland and he wasn't, and then he felt away afterwards, and then there was an agreement to leave. Okay, that's fine, under the bus. But these comments, I don't even care about that. If you've got a disagreement with a player, if you've got an issue with a player, that's fine. With Ben White, you can have that. I don't mind. Just don't throw him under the bus. I beg. Just say, we've picked our team. We've picked the team that's best for us, and that's available. Throw a little hint in there, available. You can do that, whatever you want. But say, and that's the matter on that situation. I don't want to speak about that situation with Benjamin White. Leave it there. But to try and make you look good, and to take all the eyes and pressure away from you, you go and do it to a professional player. And in this world, you're speaking about mind and all of this, and think about the player's welfare and all of that. What about you? What about you? Think about the player's welfare. Think about what example you've just shown now. Well, crap, man, this manager ain't here. Yo, if I upset this manager, why, he's gonna throw me to the lions. Nah, man, you don't want that. You want a manager to protect you either way. When Mikel Arteta had his situation with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, disciplinary issue, that's it. You didn't hear anything about it from Mikel Arteta. You just said there was a disciplinary matter. And the club are working on it. Yeah, obviously information got spread in terms of what it was, but there's still that ambiguity surrounding it. There's not that. He's trying to clarify with lies. That's not a real manager, man. That's not a leader. That's awful leadership. And it will pay in the end. It will pay. For someone I've defended a lot, for someone I've spoken about and said he's doing wonderful things, and it's a shame. It really is a shame that he's gone and done that, because that pains me to see. And forget the Arsenal factor, please, for now. It's just how treating a professional. If your manager at work publicly exposed, forget publicly, because this is worse. Like, that's to an real life for this footballer, for Ben White, it's worse than this. But your manager says, yeah, expose whatever you said to the company, to other colleagues, and openly said it, you'd be crazy. It's a HR disaster. Not with Gareth Southgate, the most protected manager in arguably world football. The PR manager has been caught out. Absolutely. Southgate is a bum for this. Absolutely. And have you been seeing some of the people calling Ben White a disgrace for rejecting England? You know that there's other issues behind this. And you're talking about he's rejected England. He shouldn't do that. Think about the people who go out to war for this country, and you don't want to play football. Listen, it's nuts. You don't do that, because if you didn't like your sergeant and your sergeant was treating you like a waste man, you're leaving. You are. Maybe so. Even in any job, you're leaving if someone's treating you like that. So I'm sorry. Yeah, disgraceful from Gareth Southgate. To put out that statement now is even worse. It's not even a heat of the moment situation. Exactly. And that reminds me, King. I think the contract extension video that Arsenal put out, which we got a lot of criticism for, which is beyond me, which is stupid. That was obviously knowing to what's going to happen, or knowing kind of how Southgate's going to respond to it. Because Arsenal used it as a chance for their players and the people that know him in and around the club to describe Ben White. Don't you think, guys? It's ironic that Arsenal release a video talking about Ben White's character after Gareth Southgate has literally diminished his character and made it look like and paint him out as a bad person. We know Ben White's not that. Come on, he doesn't watch football. There's a lot of banter about that. He has a lot of tattoos. He likes the suntan. He likes the sunbed. It is what it is. But you can never question a man's desire when he's on the football pitch. When he plays his heart out, you can question his ability. You can do that all you want, but you can't ever question a man's desire. And to even get to that level, to even get to the level that he has done, shows you how hard the man's worked. Crazy stuff. That the final thing is Arsenal knew this was coming out, and I love how the club back their players and manager these days. A real family club, a real siege mentality. Again, I'm saying this, we're taking a leaf out of what Alex Ferguson and Jose Mourinho were excellent at doing. Though they were the best in the world at doing it, in making it us against the world type mentality. And that could be huge for us. Pep Guardiola, for goodness sakes, how am I forgetting him? He did it. Man City went on a crazy run after the charges got announced. No surprise. That's how you use those things. And let's hope that Arsenal use that for us against the world. People don't want us. People are throwing dirt on your name, doing all of this and that, but not here. We love you, Ben. And let's push that on and play. Every single player must know that. Ben White has even hidden injuries to play for Arsenal. Arteta has spoken about it several times. Can't question his commitment. Not just Ben White. Rob Holding has spoken about me, not Arteta. Rob Holding spoke about Ben White playing with grade 3 hamstring tears. Grade 3 hamstring almost falling off, and he still played. Siege mentality whilst battling on all fronts, nonetheless. Exactly. Pax, we're gonna need it really, because we're the underdogs in in the Champions League. We're not the favourites to win it. We're not the favourites to win the Premier League. So we are the underdogs. And the only way that we can actually win at least one of them is by having that mentality, is by being mentality monsters. Because we've not done it yet. We've not come over that hurdle. But that's going to take, the first one is always the hard. Well, it's not the hard. Yeah. Okay, because I always think the hardest thing is maintaining yourself at the top. The easiest thing is actually getting to the top, but maintaining the top's the hardest. But with a club like Arsenal, with the amount of scrutiny, especially with the Champions League, because we've never done it, that's hard. That's going to take real mentality and real siege mentality. So absolutely, guys, I am going to wrap it up here though. I am, because it's I've waffled enough now. In the chat, Pax and Shay, get the waffles out. Pause. Again, pause. That is a pause moment. But anyways, you know what I mean, guys. Really appreciate you for tuning in once again for the FA Cup Premier League preview show special. Don't forget to get your predictions into the comment section at the end of the stream. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around. My final thing that I want to say, I want to do, and I want to introduce this after the international break. Oh, sorry, Pax. Oh man, you've done me dirty there. I want to bring a football podcast out for twice a week. I want to do it. I want to do it at the start of the week and towards the end. So definitely a Monday. Then I'm thinking maybe a Friday and a Sunday. It will be as well a lot. It won't replace the Premier League preview show. It will be alongside that. But I want to release it. I want to do it in on YouTube, but also on audio listening platform. So Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, whatever you like to use to listen to. It will be out on YouTube as well. But I want to use a football podcast where it's it's a little bit like, you know, good quality, where we talk about anything that's related in that week, not just Premier League again, whatever the big topics are, because there's always big topics within the week. And then I also thought at the end of the week, because we can do a review of the games, because we don't do a review of the games as well. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, because we talk about the Premier League preview, we do watch-alongs, we do match reaction to the Arsenal, but a whole week one. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And also, the main reason I'm saying it is because I want you guys to think of any name suggestions. Any suggestions for this one? Let me know your thoughts. As long as you commit to it. Absolutely. That's the main thing. Consistency. Being committed to it is the most important thing. Because it ain't going to grow unless I be committed to it, Pax. You're absolutely bang on. And this is why I love you, man. You keep me in check all the time. Brother wants to start a podcast when life is left in the dust, I guess. RIP. Nah, man, that will definitely return at some point. It's just that it's a show that me and Rich do. And yeah, we're our schedules haven't allowed for it, but we can make time for it for sure. Tereak Talks Waffle Podcast. Football waffle. Is there a such thing? Maybe that's a good one. Do it, T. We need it. Yeah, for sure, bro. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. I want to bring it. I'm a post international break, so I want to get planning it for that. It'll still get released on here, but it will be all pre-recorded, so it won't be live stream. Whereas every other thing that we do is live. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. TT Waffle Podcast. Hey, I like it, man. We do. It's going to be all like football related topics and that, and you know, even if it's like football, non-football, but within football type things as well, we can do that for sure. And then, of course, in the future, like in the distant future, I'd like to do non-football stuff. But yeah, but that's like, we need to stick to one thing at the moment. Niche. Let's get the niche. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support. I'm gonna wrap up now. So I'm gonna stop the waffling. Don't forget to hit that like button. Are we gonna get it? Yeah, we got the like. Hit that like button, guys. Here we go. Is he gonna do it again? Should we do it one more time? Hit that like button, guys. No, we're not gonna get it. Subscribe if you're new, and we're out. Peace.